Hey guys, it's masatonic. I'm Bilingual Harukist. 皆さんこんにちは。バイリンガルハルキストのマサトニックです。Haruki Murakami book guide short story 10 Sleep. So in this video, I'd like to talk about Haruki Murakami's short story which is named Sleep. And this story is so interesting. In some ways, this is very turning point of Haruki Murakami's making short story, I think. And it's very interesting to read. So I hope this video might help you want to read or help you want to read again. Okay, let's get started. So as usual, in this video consists of three parts. First part, overview, and the second part is story, and the third part is how I enjoy this story. It's my suggestion to, it's a so-called reading tips. Okay, let's get started. First, overview. This book, Sleep, firstly appeared in Bungakukai. It's a Japanese literary magazine in November 1989. And after that, in Japan, originally contained in this book, TV People, it's a collection of short stories. It's January 1990. And after that, in the English market, contained in the Elephant Vanishes. This is a collection of short stories of English edition. It's been published March 1993. But as I explained in another video, in Japan and the English market is how to compile the short stories somehow different. In Japan, TV People, as a TV People, is Sleep contained it. And in the US market, in the Elephant Vanishes contained it. And the contents of each collection of short stories is somehow different. In the US edition or English editions, much more contain much more novels from not one or just two, three collection of short stories. The works are contained in it. So, and then, as I said, this Sleep is Murakami's some first approach, which is Murakami's first female protagonist is appeared in this book. So Murakami's female protagonist is one of the very famous protagonists. Is maybe Aomame in 1Q84, and so in a way, this is a very first, how to say, it's some kind of model of the 1Q84 or such a female protagonist. Of course, the character or characteristic of protagonist is totally different compared to 1Q84 and this Sleep. But as a very important role as a protagonist, this is very a turning point of Haruki Murakami's work, I guess. So this is an overview of this book. And then Sleep is, of course, this is a short story. So it will not take so many time to read. But Haruki Murakami's short story, in some cases, is very, very short. And compared to that kind of very super short story, this is, how to say, I could say this is an ordinary short stories. So compared to super short story, it will take more time. But maybe within, I don't know, about an hour or two, maybe you can read. And it's very enjoy to read. Yeah, I hope. Okay, let's move to story. And this story is begin very, how to say, impressive beginning. This line, I will quote the first sentences of the story. So, this is my 70th straight day without sleep. So, like this, this story had started. So, this is a story about a woman who lost sleep. And this story consists of six chapter. And the protagonist lost her sleep. And like I said, she keep on live without sleep 17th day. So in a way, it's very extraordinary. In a way, it's not realistic, I could say. But but still the way of writing is so realistic. It's not a fantasy way. It's really realistic way. Her life with her husband and her children is very realistically described. But still, her experience is so extraordinary because she lost her sleep 17 straight days. And during the 17 days, how she spent her extended life, she did a read. She keep on reading Anna Karenina without sleep. Anna Karenina, as you might know, but if you don't know it, Anna Karenina is a novel written by Lev Tolstoy, a Russian writer in late 19th century. And Haruki Murakami is really loved the late so-called classical Russian novel like Leo Tolstoy, of course, and also Dostoevsky. But basically, Haruki Murakami is much more inclined to Dostoevsky. He always talk about a brother of Karamazov or Crime and Punishment. But in this case, he referred to Anna Karenina or Tolstoy. And actually, in his Haruki Murakami's novel, this Anna Karenina or some kind of motif of Anna Karenina featured some other novels as well. But in this sleep, he really focused on the Anna Karenina and protagonist really keep on reading. And Anna Karenina is very long novel, but maybe you can summarize very roughly or violently. It's a story about a woman who had a relationship with how to say the woman main Anna Karenina is a wife, but still had a relationship with other people, and then she had a very tragic ending. That's a very rough or violently summarized the story of Anna Karenina. And I know that a rough summary before reading it, but still, when I read Sleep, and then Sleep's protagonist keep on reading Anna Karenina very passionately, and she how to say, she experienced that reading experience very how to say dramatically or very, and the reading experience very meaningful to her, and that kind of experience I really wanted to experience by myself. And so after finishing Sleep, I'd try Anna Karenina in Japanese version, and I really enjoyed it because Anna Karenina, it's not just about a story of wife. It's much more things contained in it, of course. And so that detail or other episode, except Anna Karenina, is, at least to me, it's very attractive. And of course, Anna Karenina stories is interesting. And my first, how to say, my assumption of this kind of classical literature is very, very difficult to read. Of course, it's long, but it's not just the volume of the books, but the content itself is very difficult to read because I don't know in the English market, but in the Japanese market, there are so many classical let's say works was stored in the bookstore and as a paperback, but still some works are, the translation is very old, sometimes before World War II, and some cases just right after finishing World War II. So in a way, sometimes the Japanese itself is very difficult to read. Sometimes even Japanese, it's hard to read kanji character or Chinese character. So, or the way of writing is so difficult to read. But in this case, luckily, fortunately, Anna Karenina had a more, how to say, newly translated at that time. I don't know, maybe about 10 to 15 years ago. such a newly translated series had published. So it's very, I should not say easy, but not difficult to read, very readable. So I enjoyed it. So in a way, to me, it's very good experience. Of course, not just sleep, but also and the Karena's that experience is interesting. And the story, back to the sleep story, when the protagonist finishing Anna Karenina, she expanded her life much more, keep on other Russian literature like Dostoevsky, and she doing such a nightlife, and then finally, and that her nightlife going on and on and on, and finally she had some kind of ending. Because I should not talk about it. So if you're interested, please read that book. It's contained in the English case, Vanishes, and I will put the link to the description corner below the video. So it's very interesting to read, and the ending, how this story ended, is very impressive. So and also mysterious. So let's move to the how I enjoyed this story. The first one is Anna Karenina with chocolate and brandy. So what's chocolate? Chocolate and brandy means when protagonist reading Anna Karenina, she enjoyed chocolate and a sip of brandy. That thing is so intriguing, so attractive. That one thing I really like Haruki Murakami's novel is that this kind of motivate me to, or urge me to do something other thing, like reading a novel or eating some food and or drinking some alcohol. The how Haruki described that kind of activity is very enjoyable, especially to me, is reading, and reading is very attractive. So like I said, I read Anna Karenina after finishing sleep. So I highly suggest the reading Anna Karenina with chocolate and brandy, right? And second is think about sleep. So this work's title is sleep. So sleep is a very important factor to novel, and then but also it's very how to say, difficult to define what's the meaning of sleep to human. So protagonist is actually thinking about the sleepness itself. So, and then maybe you can also think about what is sleep to you. It's very interesting approach to read deeply. And also, third point is think about last thing. The last thing itself, I should not talk about in this video, but it's very impressive way or very mysterious way this story had ended. So maybe it's how interpret that final thing is up to each readers, and maybe impression and how you think is different person by person or reader by readers, but still it's very interesting way to interpret that scene, that what's that scene's meaning. So of course I had my own opinion. Maybe that scene is a metaphor of a blah blah blah, something like that. It's a very interesting way to read deeply this novel. Yes, so this is it. This is an overview of the Haruki Murakami short story, Sleep. So if you're interested in, I'm very glad to you. This video help you to read this interesting story, Sleep. So if this video might help would help you, please give me a good rate, and I would appreciate if you subscribe my channel. Okay, so thank you for watching my video. So let's see again another video. Bye.